Welcome back to our Gray Zone Warfare Starter Series. Today we've got episode 3 where we're discussing guns and ammunition. So stick around and we'll talk a little more about that. But before we get into it, I want to thank every single one of you for all the support that you've shown me. If you haven't yet, please hit subscribe and the like button. We're going to be doing a whole lot more of these guides and a whole lot more informational content as the 0.3 patch drops here soon. So stay tuned because there's plenty more to learn. Also, if you haven't caught my live streams yet, I stream on Rumble and on Twitch. Both links are in the description below. But today, let's get into the meat of it. So today I want to talk about guns and ammunition. The system in Gray Zone isn't exactly a straightforward one. I think that there's still some more work to do on it, but I'm going to go ahead and show you from the ground up how to build a gun, some different nuances to it, little tips and tricks, and then I'm going to talk about ammunition as well. So the first things first, I'm just going to go ahead and start over. I'm going to take this gun and I'm going to put it in my inventory. I'm going to act like I don't have it. All right, I'm gonna get this M4A1 receiver and I'm gonna mod this out to where it's a fully functional gun. And I'm gonna show you little tips and tricks that you need to know. I'm gonna purchase this, right? So that puts that in my inventory, but now what? There's no gunsmith option like in Tarkov. There's no way to straightforward tell what goes on there and what parts you need. So some things you need to look for. One, you can see that the box around here is red. That means this gun is not operational. You cannot use a gun that is red like this. You cannot equip it. So one thing I need to do, I need to make sure that I have items that are going to finish this gun out. So you know you need a magazine, otherwise you got nothing to hold your ammo. The magazines, when you hover over them, don't always say what caliber they are for. But if you open it up, 5.56 by 45 ammo, that's what we've got right here. So I'll go ahead and add a mag. But now we got to get into some more complicated stuff. We need to know what's going to be compatible with this gun in order to build it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this. It's going to highlight some different mods that work with this gun. Now, this is a process that has to be repeated in order for this to work right. So I know I need a buffer tube. I need a charging handle. So here we're going to look at the different stats that these have. Here you can see this SCH charging handle gives me minus 4% reload time. That's pretty good. Way better than the F1, which is half of that. Or the standard GI charging handle that doesn't improve your reload time at all. The grip and rip is also a minus 4%. So there you have a choice between the grip and rip and the SCH, depending on what aesthetic you want. I'm gonna go with the grip and rip. Next part, I'm gonna click on this again and it's gonna show me what other options I have. I have pistol grips. This A2 grip gives you 0%. Again, we're just looking at the stats here. This gives you 0% increase or decrease on any of these. So we're gonna go with a mod grip. Gonna click the gun again. I need that upper receiver. As you can see, there's nothing there. So I'm gonna go M4 upper. Again, this is a process. This is not very streamlined, but now we've got our base parts of our upper receiver, our pistol grip, our buffer tube, our charging handle. We're starting to take shape. So as I click this again, you can see more parts illuminate. So to go on our buffer tube, I need a stock. You have a choice between 3 different stocks. I'm gonna go with the best one I can find. I need a barrel. I'm gonna go with the 16-inch. And then with that barrel, I need a gas block. And then I'm gonna go with a handguard. I'm gonna trade for all these, put this all together. Now I need the fixins. I need the lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle, all that fun stuff. Okay, so I click on it again now that I've got those parts on there. And I take a look at what are the options. Well, I've got this SF3P, and I see that this has a muzzle device option, which means there's going to be a suppressor that fits on this. And anytime you have the option to go with a suppressor, I highly recommend it. It just makes your life easier. So I click on it, and it will show which one links to it. So I'm going to add that suppressor as well. Now I need an optic. I like to go with these 30mm low profile rings, and then the razor. Again, I'm going to trade and assemble. But now our gun's still not quite done. We still need a foregrip and we need a tactical device. So the foregrips, you see them outlined here. You notice there are 2 that are not illuminated. Those cannot connect directly to this foregrip. So you have to use an M-lock rail. If you know anything about guns, this is a very typical modding system. This is very realistic. You cannot just put any foregrip on any handguard. Sometimes they need adapters. That's what these are for. So I'm going to go M-lock 7, and I'm going to click on M-lock 7, and it shows that there are others that pop up here. Personally, I already know from having done my research before, I prefer the Fortis Shift here. But now I need another tactical device. So I'm going to go with a shorter rail, and I'm going to select one of these tactical devices. I prefer lights. I know a lot of people who prefer lasers. They each have their own benefits. So I'm going to trade for those. I'm going to pop the rails on. And there I've got a completed weapon. So I'm going to double click to inspect. And here, this isn't the best M4 you can get, but at level 2, this is a pretty freaking solid weapon. So now I've got that all taken care of. I'm going to look at my weapon here. Inspect it all. I got a nice looking gun. So as you can see, that the weapon system is not straightforward, but they have implemented some quality of life changes that do make it much more enjoyable than it was in the old days. They had nothing to indicate compatibility at all. So the being able to click on the weapon and see not only what parts go with it, but also what ammo it uses is a massive improvement. And again, this is pre 0.3, so they could make this even better in the next update. So we've got our gun built. Now what? We need bullets for it to shoot. So I'm going to unload this. I've got soft points. I can see that the muzzle velocity on this is 930 meters per second. That's pretty laser beam, okay? That's a really good muzzle velocity. There's not going to be a lot of drop on this. The dispersion is a plus 3%. So dispersion means whenever it hits, it's how much it expands after it enters the target. I highly recommend reading each description because they put a lot of information in there that you do actually need to know. So when you go to procure your ammo, be it through purchase or through find, you want to pay attention to the statistics on it. A soft point ammo is going to be good for flesh damage, which is good against low tier armor or no armor. And armor piercing rounds, like these M855A1, are good for high armor players. Here you see a muzzle velocity of 970 meters per second with a -7 dispersion. That means it is going to cut through just about anything. That is good for PvP and for tier 3 areas. Now, as I mentioned in my previous episode with meds and provisions, the medical system in this is not like most. I have been wearing tier 3 armor and have been one-tapped. The way this works is if the armor hitbox does not fully cover the projectile heading towards an organ, a vital organ such as the heart or the brain, if that ammo hits either of those on its way through, it will kill you instantly. So remember this when you're going to take a shot, that if you hit a side shot or the armpit or something like that, you have a significantly better chance of one-tapping an opponent than if you hit them directly on the top of the head or straight in the front of the heart, as those have a chance to stop your bullet from doing the damage. But if you hit like a hunter's shot and hit in the soft parts without any armor plating and go straight through a vital organ, it will one-tap them. That's why a lot of people think that this game has Terminator aimbot AI, because sometimes if you're running sideways to try and get away from an opponent, they can one-tap you because they get a lucky shot on the side. It's not necessarily a design flaw, it's actually quite realistic. So keep that in mind when you're planning your gun and when you're planning your ammo. So there's another quick one today, but I just wanted to touch on this because I know this is a little confusing for a lot of people that get into this and don't really have a way to tell. I'm going to link in the description below the ammo guide that I use to show what ammo is better for different calibers and whatnot. I do want to emphasize again that you want to pay attention to whether you are going to go against high tier armored players or against low tier or no armor players. But I want to thank you all so much for watching this. Stay tuned for the next episode in this series. It'll be dropping sometime next week. Thank you to everyone over on Rumble who just got me past the 100 follower mark. Now we just have a little bit extra to do to qualify for that Rumble Creator Program. I've been streaming for less than 5 months, and I want to thank every single one of you for all the help and support that you've shown me. and it has been game-changing for me. I could not stress that enough. You guys are all awesome. Thank you so much for being here, and stay tuned for the next episode. I'll see you then.